Hello, my name is Destiny Roper, and today I will be talking to you about the corrections area of the criminal justice system, as well as mass incarceration. Did you know that there are almost 15,000 children behind bars whose most serious offense wasn't anything that most people would consider a crime? That almost 12,000 children are behind bars for technical violations of the requirement of their parole or probation, rather than for a new specific offense. And more than 3,000 children are behind bars for status offenses for simply just running away. All of these statistics are from Peter Wagner and Leah Sakala's 2014 article on mass incarceration. We should not have to tolerate our government locking up so many individuals and treating racial and ethnic minorities unfairly. We also shouldn't have to tolerate the government looking at the prison systems the same way corporations look at their companies, as dollar signs. It is time for an improvement in our criminal justice system. One, we can start by reducing the number of people who needlessly enter the prison system in the first place. It needs to be eliminated as a penalty for certain classes of low-level violent offenses, especially first-time offenders. They should at least have the option of doing community service instead of serving 2 to 3 years in prison. By doing community service, this gives them the opportunity to fulfill a certain number of community service hours between that 2 to 3 year gap, plus be on parole for however many years, depending on the crime that was convicted. By doing this, it gives individuals the opportunity to be the value to our community instead of being in jail consuming and wasting taxpayer dollars. If they violate or don't fulfill their obligations, they should be sent to boot camps where they will receive additional help and build character. 2. We can also shrink the existing prison population by allowing prisoners who have proven that they are ready to re-enter society the opportunity to transition out of confinement. 3. We can strengthen our cost-effective alternatives to incarceration and drug treatment programs. Halfway houses should be used more to rehabilitate young convicted patients as well as those who show no threat to our society. This can be beneficial to prisoners that are already convicted and have served more than 30 years locked away. This stipulation can be based off individuals who are aged 60 and above that have spent a vast majority of their adulthood behind bars. I personally think that their age is too old to pose a threat to society in the first place. They should be granted time to spend with family members that they have available. And I'm going to end with a personal story of my own. A few classes ago, we were discussing the topic of mass incarceration. And I remember bringing to the class attention of how being from the Detroit area has impacted my life so much because of how many relatives in my family were locked up for petty crimes. I did share a personal story about how a relative of mine about 6 to 8 years ago was sent to prison because he was defending himself and his family from a person that posed a threat to him and the rest of the family members while being at home in their own space. This man pulled a gun and attempted to rob my family's house, and my uncle had no choice but to pull his license gun out and shoot this man in defense of himself and his children and his wife. However, there was proof that um, there was proof that he didn't do this intentionally and that it was done for protection. But because he's from the south side of the southwest part of Detroit and he's black, he was sentenced life in prison and we can no longer see him outside of the prison system. And I look at this as an unfair opportunity because of the color on your skin. It's sad that our prison system are locking people away for a petty crime simply as that could have been, resolved really quickly by just giving him some time in jail, giving him community service to fulfill, and giving him a certain number of years to report to probation or parole. Um, but I just wanted to share that story because it kind of related to my topic, and that's it.